I'm now going to show you how to edit the milestones and tasks on your new mountain. So from the mountain screen, go to the mountain that you want to edit, either by clicking on the name here or by going to the menu. It'll default to this page, which we looked at earlier. So I'll go to the milestones and tasks page. And you'll see here that there is a structure to the page which shows you each milestone that you set up. So you've got 3 milestones: milestone A, milestone B, milestone C, and each one appears in a panel and shows you a number of things. So if I look at each panel, it gives you the name of the milestone, which you can edit at any point by simply changing the name. This is the first one. You can add a description of the milestone, which typically would be strategies, maybe some goals you want to see the students achieve by that milestone. And you can then add resources to the milestone. So you can add an attachment here. That could be an audio file or a video file. Perhaps you want to give them some instructions. Or it could be just a document, maybe some reference material or some syllabus information. You can then look at the tasks, and you can see that the tasks are very simple, very same approach to this. So each task is named here. Every milestone will have a milestone review. You can choose to have 1 or 2 tasks or more tasks, so you can easily add a task. You can change the description of each task. So if I go into this task here, you'll see here that each task has a name, and it's important really to give the task a meaningful name, and again a description of what the objectives are and what the goals for this particular task are. You have a choice at this point as to whether to make the task an optional task or not. So that means that the students would have to complete it within that milestone, or they can skip it. Some of you may want them to submit their response including a file. So there's ability here to make a file, a requirement for their submission, and also the comments that they, when they're completing their submission, you can set a minimum character length for the amount of submission you would like to see from them, amount of comments you want to see from them. So we'll leave that at 50 at the moment, which is the default. You can quickly flick from one task to another. So you can see task 2, you change task 2, you've got the other reflection points, the milestone review, and you can go back to the milestone. And you can even flick from one milestone to another using this quick menu here. So go back to the milestone, the first one. You can then edit easily here the points. So if you want to change the points for that very first milestone, very first task, you could just change that very easily, and you can increase that one, make that one 250 points, so change it to 100, 250 points, and you can change the points for the milestone review. So we change that one to 250 points. So there's a points calculator there working that one out. So you can easily add a task. You can delete a task. If you decide you don't want this task anymore, just delete it. You can add it back in again very easily by adding a task. Going back to the mountain view, so now you can see we've just got one task, milestone review, and you can change the deadline. So deadlines, the deadline of the milestone review will always be aligned to the milestone itself. So if the milestone, you want to change the deadline from October the 11th to October the 12th, just simply change that. Notice it does work in your local time as well. And that will realign then the ones that are due to the milestone. If you want this one specifically to be completed at an earlier date, you simply pick an earlier date. The milestone is due on the 12th of October, so maybe you want this one due a day earlier. So rather than the 12th, this one's got to be in a day before in the morning. So you've now got different dates here for that particular milestone. You could add whole milestones if you want, and you can simplify this menu by just looking at points. If you want to review the points that you're giving for different tasks, etc., and deadlines, you can review as well separately to the full list.